everyone, and welcome back to more Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. We are back for chapter 5 in Fitzgerald's route. So he is the last guy that we are currently working on in terms of completing the story route. And the last time we left off in his story, which is chapter 4, we we're at a ball currently. We sort of was asking him about what he was planning on doing after he fully retires, quote unquote, from being a knight of Caldera. And he's very like skittish around answering that question because he himself doesn't know. He feels very insecure on what he intends to do after retiring or quitting his job, because all his life that's his identity basically. Like, he doesn't know anything much else, because when he was very young, that's what he always wanted to be, because that's what his dad kind of wanted him to be. But that's also what he himself wanted to be, because he looked up to his dad. That was before his dad started to like kind of spiral after the death of his wife. So he doesn't know much outside of being a knight. So that's sort of something that he would have to kind of, take time to rediscover about himself. But he feels insecure whenever people do ask him, us included. So that's why when we did bring it up, he's like, I don't want to talk about it, basically. And that's fair, because like we all don't like those kind of questions. Like, we've been there. I'm pretty sure we've been there at some point in our lives. But yeah, I think we got the full story of why Fritz is so adamant on like his viewpoint of people and how he thinks people just take advantage of kindness, because his mother, who saw the best in people, who saw the good in people, she tries to like help out and just be a good person in general, was kind of like betrayed in a sense from that. And I think the story was that she was teaching languages to a trader, and it turns out that that guy was part of like some illegal trades or something like that. She accidentally got a hold of some of the letter correspondence that proved that he was a part of that, and that basically put a hit on her. And so, or she testified. I think she testified against him when he was in trial, and then she ended up getting killed because of it. And so yeah, that was why previous to that, when we were sitting in court to trial the two witches that kidnapped us, we let them slide on a lighter sentence, because I was like, my thought was like, I wanted to not like have the relationship between the witches and like people and the people of the townsfolk be even more like, like frayed and like deteriorating because of the how things are. So I was trying to like kind of give them the fact that I was like, hey, I'm trying to fix things as well too. Like I understand you, but like, like we're trying to work together basically. We can't, like, why are we trying to fight each other when I'm trying to help me help you kind of thing. So that's why I figured that was like the logic behind it. But apparently like not, like Fritz was leaning towards the more severe punishment, like the higher sentences, because he was like, they still like kidnapped you, they still put your life in danger, and yes, you got out like pretty much like safely unscathed, but like you never know, like it could have escalated to something worse. So yeah, it's just like, wow, damn, like he didn't appreciate us like giving them the lighter sentence. So yeah, that's where we are. We're at the ball, and he's like, he sort of played up his Varg character because of the whole masquerade thing, and also something about like, I'm trying to read this guy's game where it's like I think he has a complex in terms of like Varg as a person, but also seeing himself as more Varg than he is Fritz. And because of that, it's like he feels like we won't love him if he identifies more as Varg than as Fritz. So we're playing along with his little like charade of like being more of like the darker sort of like side to him in this ball currently, and that earned us points. So let's continue on, and maybe perhaps I will continue doing that sort of like strategy. So if the night outside is a canvas of gently twinkling lights, the throne room is an intricate painting of a midnight dance. So off we go. We continue on to dance in the ball and have a good old jolly time. I catch Fritz's eyes in the middle of our dance. They twinkle with a merriment so bright it is contagious. I cannot help but smile myself. Okay, tonight is a night for boldness and freedom. A night where we can be anything we want beneath these masks. Yes, because people are like, yeah, no one knows. No one knows who anybody is. Fritz spirals me away from him and then back again. For a few moments, I remain rooted in place, not wanting to move. Then perhaps, because of the atmosphere, I find myself standing on the tips of my toes so I can plant a kiss on his lips. The composed smirk falls away from his face, replaced by a faint blush. As abruptly as he pulled me toward him, he suddenly twirls me away. Feeling more brazen tonight, aren't you? Well, oh, and here I thought you knew how bold I could be. Fritz grins at me. You're the type that enjoys kisses stolen in secrecy, all of the more intimate things tucked away, where no one can see them. Well, yeah, that's the princess I know. Then maybe you don't know me as well as you think you do, Lord Fitzgerald. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Lord Varg tonight, isn't it? Fritz does not deign to respond with words. He leans forward to plant a kiss on my forehead before spinning me away. Just Varg will work for tonight. And what am I to call you? Me? Oh, I can't be the only one playing dress up, can I? A title for me? A memory that I have long been trying to suppress surfaces. Ice Princess. Aha. It is a title that the townsfolk used to call me behind my back, one I refused to acknowledge until it was too late. What's with the dour expression? In one quick step, Fritz bridges the distance between us. I am completely aware of my hand pressed to his chest and his breath on my cheek. I turn to consider the crowd around us, but then I realize Fritz has pulled us to the outskirts of the room, away from prying eyes. Hey, Ice Princess. He caught me! Fritz, whatever else I had been meaning to say is cut off when he puts his lips to mine, stealing my words away from me. I am almost stunned enough to push him away, but then I realize that despite the abruptness of the kiss, Fritz's arms around me are gentle. The kiss, both deep and lingering, is enough to make my knees weak, yet it is disappointingly short. The moment I feel myself sinking into his touch, he pulls away and pulls a loose strand of hair behind my ear. The Ice Princess, the one who made all of those mistakes in the past, the one who was forced to face so many of her mother's demons. That woman is still you. The smile on his face is gentle. I came to a realization a few weeks ago, Hannah. It was this: in order to face the future, we have to face the past first. His expression becomes somber as he touches the mask on his face. This whole time, I've been lamenting my past. I've been talking about how much of my life I've wasted serving other people. I've always hated that part of myself that was Varg. It was the part of me that hated the world, the part of me that judged everything and everyone. But wearing this mask now makes me remember Varg differently. Now, I can't help but remember the side of me that laughed in the face of danger, the part of me that held tight to you even despite my curse. I did some terrible things, Hannah, and maybe you did some things you regretted too, but... He leans forward to plant a soft kiss on my forehead. When he pulls away, he is once again smiling his gentle smile. The past is a foundation, and I've realized that it's only through accepting everything that I did and everything that I was that I can move on. I see. He gestures around the throne room. My eyes fall on the masked guests and on the jovial smiles lighting their faces. People are guilty of wearing masks around others all the time, but give them the opportunity to wear those masks in public and they open up and become less afraid to show who they really are. That's why I thought a masquerade would be good for us. Wearing a mask like this, looking into a mirror, I think. I smile as I weave my fingers through Fritz's. Those are wiser words than I thought you capable of, Varg. Fritz bursts out laughing. His smile turns cocky. Ha! I would be offended if I wasn't so amused. He pauses, looking thoughtful. So, will you let me call you Ice Princess? Sure. I've always thought it was a beautiful title. Ice is sturdy, sure, but it's also malleable enough to chip with malleable enough to chip into whatever shape you want. Fine, you may refer to me as Ice Princess, but also... I raised an eyebrow at him. Not that I don't appreciate the flattery, but if we are revisiting the past... Fritz smirks. Fine, fine. I tried to be romantic and you cut me down. Same old Ice Princess. That sounds more like the Varg I know. He takes my hand and places a kiss on the back of it. I've been making tonight sound like it's about me when it's really about you. So I insist you choose what we do next, Hana. Oh, I like to search for my family. I like to dance with you again. I like to dance with you. Why can't we just continue dancing a night away? Dance the night away. Dance, 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 dance. Dance, 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 dance. Why not? I like see you less than my family. Okay, I'd like to dance with you again. Oh, I didn't think you enjoyed dancing so much. I care more about your company than a dance. What if I was clumsy company, always stepping on your feet? Fritz is a surprisingly good dancer for someone so clumsy, but even then... If you step on my feet, then I shall step on yours. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind that so terribly. In fact, I think I'd enjoy that immensely. Okay. Fritz pulls me towards him, setting one hand gently on my back while he grasps the other. He pulls me against his chest. Yay, we got a little CG! Yes! Woo. This is not dancing. I have no idea what you're talking about, Ice Princess. My whole body is warm, radiating with the heat of his skin on my own. I realized with a start that the music playing in the background has become softer. Without even realizing, my own footsteps have become slower to match the rhythm of the music. Fritz moves just as smoothly, every one of his footsteps perfectly echoing mine. He never steps on my feet. I can feel his breath on my neck as he leans down to speak with me. If this isn't dancing, what would you call it? A breach of personal space. And what's the problem? We're in public. Well, you're more than welcome to step away whenever you want. No, I thought so. Okay, see, I choose right. He plants a kiss beneath my ear before pulling away. The two of us continue to dance without caring who sees us. When the song eventually fades into something more jovial, Fritz pulls away from me and raises an eyebrow. Care for a drink, Miss Ice Princess? Sure. I nod my head at him slowly as I come out of my thoughts. I'll be back in a few moments then. Don't go anywhere, okay? Okay. Fritz walks off to get something to drink, but does not leave me alone for long. Only minutes later, he has returned. I stare at the glass topper as he hands me one of the drinks. It appears to be some kind of animal. It looks like some kind of strange lizard. It's a chameleon? Oh, it's like the one that Claude used. What is this? Your guess is as good as mine. Apparently this was done to honor one of our esteemed guests. Perhaps it was for Claude or Lance, but why a lizard? I startle when Fritz flicks my forehead. Ow. Sorry, I couldn't resist when you were so obviously daydreaming. Would it not be more a night dream at this point? Yeah, exactly. It's night. Point taken. Though Fritz and I remain in each other's company for a long time after that, it is just a matter of time until the two of us are forced to separate. Oh. I am pulled aside by other nobles, all of whom have some matter or another to discuss with me. Girl, I'm trying to have a good time here. I don't want to be talking about work. Meanwhile, Fritz is cornered by some of his acquaintances from the Order. I insist that he share a drink with them, and after some hesitance, he agrees to accompany them. Later, socializing becomes more difficult. My energy is drained, and I feel suddenly claustrophobic. Yes, I must go. I need some fresh air. Same girly. I glance around the throne room in an attempt to find Fritz, but quickly give up the effort. I should let him relax for a change. I turn and head out of the throne room. Ugh. Peace and quiet. I release a sigh as I step out into the corridor. The tranquil night is a nice change from the crowded throne room. I wander a little farther, deciding to put as much distance as I can between myself and the crowds. I meander down some of the nearby corridors, taking in the quiet of the night and letting it settle gently on my shoulders. Save for a few nights out on patrol, the halls are empty. Some wave to me as I pass, but none approach to talk. It remains this way until I am a good distance away from the throne room, and a familiar knight makes her way over to me. Asturian! Princess Hana? Yeah. What are you doing out here? I came out here for some fresh air. I paused to glance behind me. I realized suddenly that I have come into a different corridor. Many of the lamps here are unlit, probably to discourage people from wandering any further. Jurian smiles at me wanly. A little crowded inside for you? Yeah, I'm afraid so. I'm surprised Fritz isn't out here with you. Oh, I didn't want to pull him away from the festivities when he was having so much fun. It's been a while since he has been able to relax. I can't argue with that. He's looked tense recently. I nod, then look at her, curious. What about you? How have you been since the promotion? The smile that stretches across Jurian's face is so bright it sparkles. I've been well. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding. Oh, that's good. I only wish... Oh no. She stops, and the smile fading from her face. Yeah, Garland. I can tell by the melancholy in her eyes that she is thinking of Garland. My heart sinks at the memory of him. I have tried many times to apologize to Jurian for what happened, but she insists it was not my fault. Now, the only thing I can think to do is pay my respects to him as I do with everyone else. I hope that my words reach him. Jurian shakes her head abruptly. Never mind. When she faces me again, her good cheer has returned. I'll escort you back to the party, princess. I was just returning myself. I nod my acquiescence. The two of us had just turned and are beginning to head back when Jurian suddenly stops, head angled. What? I follow her gaze down the hall and see people in the far distance. Who the hell? Guests? But there's no reason for them to venture this far. I look questioningly at Jurian, but she has already started walking toward the small crowd. Head back to the throne room, your highness. Yeah. What? But Jurian trots off silently before I can even finish my question. For a few moments, I simply watch her go, disconcerted by the sudden change in her demeanor. I ought to head back, but... I'm curious about what's happening. Surely it cannot hurt to investigate. If I need to, I can always hide. Fritz taught me how to be inconspicuous. Let's just sneak. Let's just be quiet, extra quiet. Eventually, I come to the edge of the darkened corridor. I duck behind the nearest pillar and scope out my surroundings from behind. From here, I can only just barely make out Jurian's profile. In front of her, cloaked in heavy darkness, are two knights and a woman. I realize almost immediately that they are holding the woman between them, and that one of the knights has his hand clamped over her mouth. Why? What is the meaning of this? She's sneaking? Commander, we're just dealing with an interference. We found this undesirable roaming in the halls with a stash of dangerous equipment. Oh. The woman between them continues to struggle, but her thrashing barely moves the knights, who stand stock still as they look at Jurian. Let her speak. But Commander... I said let her speak. Okay, yeah. Commander, she was holding onto this. The knights take something from his pocket and presents it to Jurian. Her eyes widen. A potion? She glances at the panicked woman. So their captive is a former witch, but what are they doing to her? She was about to break into the party with this. Oh, we found her skulking out here and arrested her immediately. And if she is so guilty, then let her speak for herself. Yeah, what do you have to say? The two men glance at each other over the woman's head. Even from this distance, I can tell Jurian is scrutinizing them. If I was able, I would come out right at this moment and bid the knights to speak myself, but Jurian cannot know I am here. At last, one of the knights sighs. I never thought you would be a witch, a sympathizer, Lady Jurian. Even in the darkness, I can see Jurian glowering, but before she can say anything, she is interrupted by the sound of shattering glass. What? Guys! The hallway is suddenly encased in a mist thick enough to hide the figures from my sight. Stop! Desist at once! Cease! Jurian's words fall on deaf ears. Before I can rationally piece the scene together in my mind, I am pulled from my thoughts by the sound of battle. Though the mist is thick, I can see Jurian engaged in combat with one of the knights. The witch is conspicuously missing. Where did she go? What? It is then that I witness one of the knights escaping the mist. He holds the struggling woman firmly in his grasp and yells something at his comrades before running down the hall in the opposite direction. Okay, I'm trying to also as well piece together the situation, because it can either be that the witch lady is innocent and she's just being discriminated at the moment, or she's actually trying to do something. I don't even know. Fear mingles with anger as the night approaches. Panic builds in my chest. If I move, I will put myself in danger. But if I do not, the kidnapper could very well escape. What do I do? Call for help, intercept the knights. What did Fritz teach us? We shouldn't really involve ourselves, really. Like, how much combat training have we had? Oh god, call for help. Maybe call for help? Yeah. I turn and rush back down the corridors before the night approaches. The least helpful thing I can do is put myself in danger. I must call for help, yeah. The thought instills a great confidence in me, but as I run through the halls, that confidence diminishes. No matter how loud I shout, no one hears me in these empty corridors. A sudden desperation takes hold of me, and before I realize it, I yell out a word I have not uttered in years. Adiuva? Adiuva? It is like a magic trick. The minute I say the word, Fritz appears at the end of the corridor, eyes wide and panicked beneath his mask. Hannah? He easily bridges the distance between us and puts his hands protectively on my shoulders. What's happened? A kidnapping. A knight has kidnapped someone. Jurin is fighting his accomplice. I am breathless as I point down the hall. I no longer hear swords in the distance. I hope that this means Jurian has defeated one knight and is chasing after the other. Hannah, you must go back to the throne room and tell his majesty. He squeezes my shoulder tightly, as if to hold me still, then rushes off down the hall, his cloak rustling behind him in the near silent night. I stand for a few moments, watching him rush off. Then, after a few moments of hesitation, I turn on my heels and continue to the throne room. Is that the right choice? I mean, we called out to Fritz, you know what I mean? It is better this way, better for me to stay out of trouble. Right, like, we don't... Fritz has always emphasized, like, he doesn't want us to, like, put ourselves in danger. The minute the king is notified of the incident, the masquerade is cancelled and the throne room cleared out. It is I who brings the news to him, and I who helps him organize the knights to deal with the threat. It is not long before Jurin returns, but I am disheartened when she arrives with only one of the captors. Have you found the other man? We think he might have escaped the palace. Lord Fitzgerald went after him. I clench my hands into fists to keep them from shaking. Should I have gone after them? But Fritz told me to avoid fights I did not think I could win. My upset must be apparent. Jurian addresses me next. Don't worry, princess, we'll find him. I can only hope the witch is unharmed. I would hear an explanation while we wait. My father turns expectantly to the captured kidnapper. What is your motive? Yeah. During the war, you let witches destroy us. Okay, he's just a discriminator. And then when we were finally able to have our revenge for all the fairy tale curses they cast and the humans they made suffer, you forgave them. Magic may have disappeared, but that doesn't change the fact that they're still criminals. My partner and I were only meting out justice. Justice? These men are despicable. The king's disgust mirrors my own. He opens his mouth to respond, but stops when the doors to the throne room burst open and Fritz steps inside. Somewhere along the way, he seems to have doffed his masquerade outfit. The other kidnapper is dragged in behind him. Ah, your majesty, we've apprehended the other man. He forces the man to kneel. And the victim? She is in the infirmary, your majesty. My heart plummets at the words. Fritz inclines his head towards me, smiling softly. They're only minor wounds. Thank goodness. See to it that she receives the utmost care. Extend my deepest apologies to her and tell her I will visit as soon as possible. The knights that accompany Fritz into the room nod before leaving to deliver the king's message. Okay. Your Majesty, if I may interrupt. Speak, Jurian. We've discovered that this is not the criminals' first offense. They are also behind some of the recent witch hate crimes happening in town. Oh my gosh! Jurian shoots the two knights a severe glare. I hold myself responsible for not having found out about their crimes earlier. You have my deepest apologies, your majesty. Your apologies are unwarranted, Jurian. I am just as surprised as you to see this hatred even within our ranks. He turns again to the knights, expression stoic. I personally invited Lady Celeste to this ball. She is a busy woman, a countess from Brigantia who deserves our utmost respect. A countess? Father invited a countess from Brigantia here without me knowing. I invited her here to act as a spokesperson for witches, and she gracefully agreed. Oh my god, you arrested a, like, ambassador? Jesus Christ. Or like a, you know, someone from a delegate from another nation? Jesus. He frowns. or like they tried to kidnap. Sorry, they tried to kidnap another like a delegate from another like country, basically. I do not know what you intended to do with her, but know this: you will be tried for all of your crimes. I will not abide prejudice in this kingdom. Yes. With that, the two men are taken from the room. Their sentence is all but set, but they will nonetheless get a trial for the sake of fairness. Jurian herself leads them out. After she has left, it is just Fritz and I left in the room. I break the silence first. The witch is the Brigantian Countess. Why did you not tell me she was coming? I intended to have Claude introduce you tonight. The only other ones who knew of her arrival were the knights. It was for security purposes. He sighs. I see now that it was a mistake to keep the information confidential. Yeah. Regardless, my father turns to Fritz with a smile. You have my thanks for going after the kidnapper, Lord Fitzgerald. I only did what anyone else would have. Anyone else, would I have been able to do the same thing? I heard Hannah calling for me. She was the one who alerted me to the kidnapping. Even after all that practice with Fritz, I was unable to do anything. I can protect myself, but I still can't protect anyone else. As if sensing my thoughts, Fritz sets a comforting hand on my shoulder. She also had this foresight to tail Lady Jurian. It was dangerous, but had she not done so, neither of us would have known what was happening. The king smiles. To imagine my own daughter skulking through the corridors. You make me sound like a criminal. It was useful stealth, wasn't it? I was glad I could do that, in the very least. It was brave. The king smiles. I would like to speak to the Countess now, but I would hear your testimony tomorrow, Fritz. Of course, Your Majesty. Then you are excused. Thank you both for your assistance tonight. With a bow and a curtsy, Fritz and I duck out of the throne room. Did I make the right choice? Did I not make the right choice? Like, girl, I don't know if we could have done much if we were just in full-on ball gown, you know what I mean? And heels? My head is still reeling by the time I return to my bedroom. To think the woman I helped save tonight was a countess from Brigantia. I collapse onto my bed with a groan. Fritz leans against the wall nearby, arms crossed. What a long night, I know. I am sorry you had to spend so much of it looking for the escape night. Why would you apologize for that? I should have done something. I could have done something. Fritz crouches down beside me. Gently, he takes my hands in his own. I told you before that running was the best way to stay safe, and you listened. But this was different, Fritz. This wasn't just about me. You're too hard on yourself, Hannah. Calling for help isn't weakness. My heart plunges at the thought. Before, I had always thought reaching out to others was a weakness. That to rely on others meant I was incompetent. Even now, I cannot help but feel that there was more I could have done for the Countess, but she was found in the end, at least. Injured, but alive. Please, Hannah, I never want you to have to put yourself in danger. But I am the crown princess. Putting myself at risk for my people is one of my duties. Not if it means your sacrifice won't bear fruit. Yeah, but Fritz, he kisses my hands. The Countess is safe and you're safe. That's all that matters. He does not let go of my hands until I concede his point. After, I reach into my pocket and withdraw his knife, the one I did not get the opportunity to use. You kept the knife with you. I should have used it. Well, no, the knife is a last resort, Hannah. I don't want you to use it unless you absolutely need to. I'm glad you keep it on you, though. How could I not? You gave it to me as a gift, and it's a good means of protection. It would be foolish of me not to carry it. I look down at the knife, thoughtful. For a few moments, Fritz wraps his hands around mine. What you did today was amazing, Hannah, but please, promise me you always prioritize your own safety. Angiel can't lose its future queen. The spark dies in his eyes as he speaks. His shoulders sag. And I can't lose you. You mean the world to me, Hannah. You're the one that keeps me rooted, that keeps me sane. You're my dream for the future. Oh, his eyes are on the dagger as he speaks. I wonder vaguely if he is thinking about his mother and what happened to Alcaster after her death. I need to comfort him somehow, but how? Girl, really? I thought I made the right choice by, like, not getting myself involved, because that's what Fritz has always told us. But, like, apparently not. That was the wrong choice, girl. Okay, fine. So what did we talk? I need to comfort him somehow, but how? Talk about the future, talk about the past. He did say something about the past and how the past is, like, you know, if we don't acknowledge it or face it, then, like, we can't move through the future because, you know, we learn from the past and yada yada yada. The past is part of ourselves too, you know, the future self. Um, 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 um. I don't know. Talk about the past? But I don't know. I don't know. The future is like, you know, we can move towards. I can see why we would talk about the future as comforting, because it's like, you know, we're moving forward. It was something we could look forward to, and we have like more, you know, we have control of it in a sense. But the past is like, you know, I need to comfort him. Talk about the past. I'm sorry, the song "Free" from K-pop Demon Hunters is like playing in my head, where it's just like, where we can be free. Let the past be the past till it's weightless. Okay, I don't know. Fritz, back when you were my knight, you always protected me. I know I made mistakes in my past. I didn't trust anyone, and yet I still depended on them to protect me. Even back then, when I didn't properly thank you, you protected me. As Fritz, as Varg, you have always been there for me. I want to protect Angiel the way you protected me. I want to be just as selfless, but without being foolish. I do not believe in fruitless sacrifice, so please, do not worry about me. That's a tall order, Hannah. I can't not worry about you. Perhaps you could worry just a little less then? Is that an order? If it needs to be, yes. His eyes twinkle with mirth when I reach forward to touch his cheek. Our lips are inches apart when a knock sounds at the door, startling us both. Ugh. Your Highness, the Queen requests your presence in her chambers. Oh, Ophelia, she must want to check on me. Tell her I will be there in a few moments. I turn back to Fritz and plant a quick kiss on his lips before standing up. He looks up at me, almost disappointed. I consider him for a few moments before shaking my head with a little smile. Would you like to come with me? To the Queen's rooms? Is there a problem? No, I've just never visited her chambers before. Then we must remedy that. You are basically a part of the family now, after all. Before he can protest, I grab his hand and pull him out of the room. Okay. Okay, oh my god, I'm like fumbling on these choices, man. Last night's proceedings feel like a dream in the morning. Okay, well, we didn't even have that conversation in her room? I guess not. Okay, the king reviews the situation with the counselors, and after hearing testimonies from Fritz, Jurian, and I, he sentences the knights to a lifetime in prison. Oh gosh. The countess has been offered a room in our palace for a few days. Last I heard, she is resting in her room and recuperating from the trauma of last night. Well, I mean, that's fair though. They tried to kidnap a delegate, so... Even the masquerade feels like a dream. In the morning, everyone is exhausted, with the exception of 2 people. Oh, of course. You absolutely must fight me. I will not leave Angiel until we spar. Sorry, Your Highness, but I have a very tight schedule. His eyes flicker to me, and I can see the mischief in them. I know Fritz does not have so much on his plate that he cannot spar with Claude. No, he just wants to avoid Claude's melodrama. But this is a gentleman's challenge. One does not turn down a gentleman's challenge. On the contrary, one has the responsibility to turn down a gentleman's challenge if it comes from a man that is not a gentleman. He's like, you stay out of this, llama. He's like, how dare you not call me a gentleman. Claude and Lance are our esteemed guests for the following week. Though I have no doubt Claude's dramatics will tire me by the end of the week, I cannot help but be glad to see him again. His exuberance is contagious. Emmeline especially is excited that 2 princes are staying longer. She has been stealing glances across the table at Lance all morning. Of course she's happy. She's like, I get to stare at him some more. Even now, she twirls her hair around her finger as she shoots another nervous smile at Lance. Oh my gosh, she's like giving him the Debbie Ryan. When she notices me staring, she turns away with a flush. Do you really plan on ignoring me, Lord Fitzgerald? Oh, were you saying something? Such a cruel man you are. Please ignore him, Lord Fitzgerald. He thrives off of attention. I only wanted to see who the superior swordsman was. Okay, well, Fritz is a very capable swordsman. He was the commander of the Order of Caldera, after all. Bah, that means nothing. Okay, Claude has not changed at all. Lord Fitzgerald fights with a purpose, not just for the sake of being dramatic. You're just jealous you're not good with a sword, llama. Emmeline gives Claude a withering look. Prince Lance is good at many other things, like dancing and chess, and She blushes when she notices everyone staring at her. She's like, how dare you talk to my mans like that? Truly, you are far too kind to me, Princess Emmeline. The familiar banter continues throughout breakfast. Thankfully, no one brings up the incident from yesterday. At the end of breakfast, I take Fritz's hand and allow him to lead me into the corridor. The two of us are on our way to my bedroom when someone appears in the corridor. Hello? Oh, Lady Celeste, Princess Hana! The Countess, Lady Celeste, appears before us, a brilliant smile on her face. Well, at least she's like up and about. 1,000 blessings upon you this morning. And to you, to what do I owe the pleasure? I eye the Countess critically, searching for any injuries. Much to my relief, nothing stands out. I spot a bandaged wrist beneath her sleeve and a bruise near her neck, but little else. How are you feeling? Splendid, my injuries are minor. I am sorry you were injured in the first place. Please, don't apologize, Princess. If not for you, I would not have been whisked away. Anyway, I am glad I stumbled into you. The king told me you planned on giving a speech to the populace on the divide between humans and witches. Would I be able to help you with it? Yes. Oh, the king called her here for just that reason. Her input would be extremely invaluable. Of course, perhaps we could meet in the dining hall? Wonderful. I also wanted to say... She grasped my free hand. I flinch at her touch but do not pull my hand away. I wanted to thank you again for your assistance. I also wanted to tell you I have faith in you as Angiel's future queen. What? I know the rumors around Angiel. I know many witches blame you for what happened, but... The Countess shakes her head. I believe you are not only worthy, but overqualified to be queen. You are a noble spirit, and you will be an amazing queen. Wow, thank you. That is kind of you to say. I can barely form words of gratitude, overwhelmed as I am by her compliments. The Countess laughs. Have faith, Princess Hana. People's hearts can be changed. There is good and there is evil in this world, but there is also so much more. People are complex and susceptible to change. She leaves on that sentiment, leaving me alone with Fritz. After she has left, he raises his eyebrows at me and smiles that cocky smile of his. Well what? Do you have more faith in yourself now? I told you that you're good at what you do. I nudge him. That, my lord, is a matter of opinion. Fritz leans down to kiss my forehead. I'm afraid your say on the subject doesn't count because you're biased, but... He pulls a strand of hair back behind my ear. I would like your opinion on some other things, like my list for the future. For instance, you're still going to help me write it, aren't you? Oh yes, it would be an honor. He smiles at me softly. The honor is all mine, my lady. My lady. The two of us share a smile and a kiss before we head on our way. Okay, well, I guess that concludes that, maybe? Yes, it does. Chapter 6, Carpe Diem. Yes, Carpe Diem, to live in the moment kind of thing. Live. Okay, so yeah, that will be... Chapter 6 is essentially our last chapter before we actually see what ending we get. I'm pretty sure I got like just the good ending, not the true best ending, because I as you guys can see, I fumbled on the choices here, and I fumbled on a lot of choices on the previous chapters as well too. So yeah, I won't be surprised if I get just a good ending. So anyways, yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining me on chapter 5 of Fritz's route in Cinderella Evermore. I hope you are looking forward to chapter 6, which will be our final chapter, as I said before, our initial ending, and then we come back to get the only other ending we are missing. So yeah, and then we finish the game. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Please be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell on my channel, because that is the surest way for you to know when's the next time I'm going to upload anything on the channel, as I am on a semi-hiatus just due to life things and me not knowing whether I will get time to sit down and record anything or upload anything. So yeah, it's very on and off, very up and down, so I myself don't really know. So even if you ask me, I can't give you a sure answer, even though I try to remain as, consistent as I can be. But yeah, other than that, I am still active on the channel, so if you guys if you send any messages or leave any comments on my videos, I will see them and I will get back to them as best I can. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and thank you for your patience. But for now, I'll see you next time. So, bye!